Oops, I forgot to unmute myself. Hi, everyone. So, this is Oli, and this session is Oli presents Sarah. Sarah Olaifa, if I pronounced correctly her full name. I'm just checking to YouTube and to LinkedIn as we are becoming live. We are live on LinkedIn, hopefully, and I'm audible. And I'm testing my new mic, by the way. So it's really a blessing that my mic is functioning. That's amazing. So she will join us in a few moments. And while we are waiting for Sarah for joining, let me tell you, it was already an amazing adventure these last days. And yes, you are a remarkable leader. I am a remarkable leader. So let me sip some uh, honey tea right now. So the key word for the next days is action, imperfection. So I love to bake some pancakes and to have my brain on fire. So perfection not done is really something I'm going to avoid. Right now, I'm going to dive more in imperfection, to do things imperfectly. And so I am going back on track. I might not be always um, at 100% always energetically, but I'm here to bring my voice and to dance between being serious and committed and bringing the joy. For this session, Oli presents Sarah. She is wedded. Sarah est entendue à l'accueil. I would say something like in the supermarket when parents are waiting, but I'm not a parent. So hopefully that she can join. And if you are live, thank you so much for your patience. If you are on the replay also, thank you for your patience. So, my friends, thank you. And how are you feeling right now? Let me know in the comments if you are watching live and also on the replay. I'm offering this space for spotlighting people that I really enjoyed at some point in my journey. And Sarah, I was meeting her during my FJA time, a group of financial and business owners based in London. But I think 80-90% was based in London, and 80-90% was black owners. And I was welcomed to their membership, Ken and Mary, and it was a great time. I had my 5 a.m. club, which was at 6 a.m. at that time because I'm a 1 hour ahead of their time zones. I'm in Brussels, they are in London. So I was meeting amazing human beings like Sarah, Esther, and other incredible humans. And then I decided to leave the membership because I decided to move on. But she is still on my connection. And she told me that there is something going. And so I was imagining why not to present her to my network, to continue the early present. And one of the early presents that I'm the most blessed is when I was presenting on July Jess. She was, she is, and she will always remain within my heart. Jess. Jess Harvey. Jessica. I will not go into the details. And at that time it was on audio. At that time the early presents were on audio. So I was recording them, but just for the guest to have a souvenir, a memory. And then I learned few. Oops, I think I'm going to remove YouTube. I'm checking on YouTube and LinkedIn, by the way, to see if there are any comments. But I rely now on Restream. And so I was witnessing Jess passing few weeks later. And for me, it was really heartbreaking. But at least I'm really proud because I was spotlighting Jessica and giving her some joy. So I am still waiting for. Thank you so much, Annie, by the way, for joining live. I was expecting Sarah to join, and we are still waiting for Sarah, but I'm going to move on. So as we are going to wait Sarah, the thing that I can do is to introduce you to her profile because I'm giving you some value. I don't want to wait unnecessary time. If Sarah is not yet there, I'm going to present you Sarah before giving her the voice. So here is Sarah, a program manager, consultant, broadcaster, and she is in London. And as I told, Joy Academy from Ken and Mary, the humble penny. And so Sarah, as you see, I'm not going to voice the description, but I see analytical, project manager, and delivering quality, agile. I remember when I was in my IT moments from 2013 to 2019, I was discovering project management through a training, a module. Was a PMP and Prince2, Agile, ETIL, the GED, which is Gestion électronique de document electronic management. And so, yeah, and now there is AI. Since 2019, I'm not following the fancy word of management. But I bet that since ChatGPT and AI, there's a lot of earthquakes everywhere, including in project management. So, Sarah, there, not yet. We are waiting. So, and if you have any question, sorry for the pun, let me know. And yeah, so Sarah, we are waiting for you. We are waiting for you. And so it's always tricky. Some points. I got some news. She's coming. Fire, fire, fire. She's coming. Great news. Because I can move on and on and on. Ah, she's there. So, Sarah,
I'm so sorry.
don't be sorry, be happy. At least it's like the quart d'heure académique.
Gosh. I don't think you guys can see me. I'm having technical issues. Hang on.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
Yes, I stopped the share of my screen so that we can see your beautiful face.
Hello everyone.
Hello, Sarah. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
So, how are you feeling today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm super good. I feel a bit better than the previous days. I'm recovering from some personal health challenges, but I'm feeling better.
Oh, that's good. As long as you're feeling better, but it's always good to take it easy.
Yeah. So I'm very glad that and you have some already good vibes from Annie Ozong, who is the godfather of the LinkedIn audio or on the LinkedIn Live. Like he makes you famous. So feel free to
Oh
connect
wow.
with him also. Yeah, Annie is amazing. And also you have the good vibes from Trinidad, from Lisa Fevek, the lady in red from Trinidad.
Hello, hello, hi. So do you want me to introduce myself?
Of course, of course. Here is the queen. So go for it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sarah Olaifa. I work as a project manager and program manager, but I also I'm currently fundraising for an app I'm creating to support neurodivergent individuals. Um, basically, manage the neurodiversity at work and be more effective. So I'm currently fundraising for an app that I'm building. I'm very I would say, passionate about the neurodiversity space. And I have a podcast called Divine in Egma. And it's all about neurodiversity in the workplace, the corporate space, and also if you're running your own business. And I speak to a lot of people in the neurodiversity space and also employers and HR professionals and also put a little sprinkle of my own personality on the podcast to talk about everything regarding neurodiversity, career progression, and how you navigate all of that. So, yeah, pleased to meet everyone. And if you've got any questions for me, I'm more than happy to answer.
Of course, and for all the audience that is watching live right now on LinkedIn on YouTube, and including the replay team, I really value the replay team because probably there are people that will watch this video few hours, days, weeks, months, or years after this show. So any question, even after that show, is welcome for the replay team. And I would say also thank you so much for what you are doing because nowadays the world is really upside down. in multiple places, whether it's wherever in UK, in US, everywhere in the world, it's boiling, and there are multiple layers of changes: the political layers, and also the changes that are affecting different layers of people: women, black community, uh, culture, religion, the mom and parenting with the schools, and also autistic, people with challenging disabilities. I'm a warrior, so I'm more and more paying attention about my words because I don't want to harm with my words. Like normally I would say disabled people, but I would say this could be a sentence that is harming. So I'm really aware now to and apologize if sometimes I'm expressing badly, but I'm doing my inner work. So same with the black culture. So do we call black person of colors BIPOC, B BIPOC, or so the words are for me very important. And so I'm really also blessed that you are there to talk about podcasting, about neurodiversity, and also bringing some black joy. I truly believe that we need more and more black joy. And as a white guy, I am blessed to see more black joy because there's so much going on in US and also in UK. I think we don't talk about UK. So any topic that you would like to speak, you are welcome. This is your show, and anyone in the audience, feel free to ask any question, commenting. Hello, John. Welcome. And the mic is yours.
Black joy. I love black joy. I think black joy is so important, and I fall into the line of the intersectionality of being a black woman, having a neurodivergent condition. I have ADHD and dyslexia, which is two of my invisible disabilities. I know people within the neurodiversity space don't like this term, but it also plays a part of my, I guess, superpower. Although there are days I don't feel like I have a superpower, but it makes me function quite effectively at work because I can get things done really fast or hyper focus on work that I need to, and it just makes me a much more creative person. But we are in the age where we're not seeing enough black joy or black positivity, and we need to see that intersection of people being joyful and being comfortable with themselves. Just before I came on this call, I don't know if anyone's aware, but this week we are celebrating Neurodiversity Celebration Week. And it's amazing to celebrate people that have neurodiverse conditions this week, but we will sometimes forget the intersectionality that comes with that, because a lot of the time we focus on what people perceive a neurodivergent person to look like, but we forget that the intersections that come with that you can have two opposing differences within yourself and still be marginalized to that with that as well. So there's a lot of that happens, and so people like to create this image of what they think a disabled person looks like, but disability can come in all formats. But we can also be joyful in those disabilities and also joyful in our difference. Um, and yeah, I think it's important that we we look at um we don't kind of focus too much on black trauma. I think a lot of the time when we look at black images, sometimes there's a lot of things about, you know, things that are going to cause us trauma or feel that we're not good enough. And I think it's important that we celebrate the beauty that comes with being a black, for me, a black woman, because obviously International Women's Week was last week. Being neurodivergent, celebrating that for me this week, and dealing with the intersections of being black, being neurodivergent, being a woman, and all of those facets, just making one, feel a sense of joy and happiness about that, and knowing the power that comes with that. a lot of the time our difference can be our superpower or our tool, because we have a different perspective on stuff. And sometimes that can be of value. A lot of the time that can be of value in the workplace or work environment, or even in a business, because you're seeing things from a different perspective, and it's not in a perspective of uh, what one would say a one size fit all perspective of how we view the world. So yeah, I would say that. I don't know if Ollie is there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so yeah, thank you so much. And also, we can talk also about languages and cultures because I don't know your background. Would you introduce us your life from the day that you are born, your cultures, your languages, as long as much as you want.
Okay, so where did I come from? So I come from London. I was born in London. My parents are immigrants, so I'm from an immigrant background. My mum is from Ghana, West Africa. My dad is Nigerian. Unfortunately for me, which I always, I'm always get upset with my parents. I never learned the languages that they had. Because both my parents came from two different countries that spoke two different languages. So in our household, we grew up speaking English. But my dad, may he so rest in peace, was a Yoruba man and spoke Yoruba fluently. And my mum is Ghanaian, but she speaks two different Ghanaian dialects. So she speaks Ga and Chi. And she also speaks a bit of Fanti as well, which are the languages that they have in Ghana. And I feel like, oh, one day I want to learn the language, but every time I keep getting older, I'm like, maybe my brain can't take learning the language now because my brain's so full of information. But I had to always tell myself it's never too late to learn. So maybe eventually that will be part of my bucket list, tick list, to try and learn my mother tongue, and maybe spend more time in Nigeria and Ghana. As when I was a young child, I used to go back and forth between the two countries, but I just never learned the language, which I feel really I kind of mourn that sometimes.
Mm, thank you, and cross fingers that you will be able to learn your cultural languages because if
Mm.
you are able to learn machine languages, because I did. I have also a huge background of human and machine language. Human language, native French, having to learn Dutch and English at school. Never learned German, although German is the third official language in Belgium for historical reasons. And the only way I was learning hearing some German was at the end of the King discourse. Each year the King discourse was in French for the French speaking people and in Dutch for the Dutch speaking people. But then at the end, he was always dropping some one or two sentences in German. But German, I was not having to learn at school. And 17 years ago, I decided to learn Italian. And also in historical background, something I was also my family was somehow speaking Wallon, which is a dialect of French. But then back to the programming language, I was learning my first ever language. Guess what? It was in '84, and it was Logo, and it was the little turtle or the little mouse. As a kid, playing with a game, FD20, RT90, and drawing some lines, and that was my first language of programmation. And then Basic, and then Turbo Pascal. And then I was also diving a bit in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, a bit of PHP in early 2000s. And in 2013, I was thinking, why not having an IT bachelor? And so I was learning also some, but I decided to go back to human language. That's why, in a nutshell, my passion for languages. if you are curious about my questions, and also the cultures. I love so much the cultures and the diversity because and for me it's also about letting you define yourself because words are powerful, but at the same time, who am I to say that someone is da 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 da, whatever the da 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 is, whether it's about neurodivergent, autistic. I think the best way is to let the other person telling and owning the definition. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts around different languages and being neurodivergent.
Yes, and to let the person owning their own definition, like you are black or you are da 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 da, or because at some point there are labels that people are sticking on
I
you
think
also. So I was
I
going
think
to that
labels
way.
are I think labels are an interesting thing because I think you so there's this thing within I guess maybe in the neurodivergent community and how one wants to be presented. So for example, the calling someone neurodiverse, that people get offended by that because you can't be a neurodiverse person. They rather be preferred to as neurodivergent. Some people don't even want to be labeled as a neurodivergent. They just say, I have a learning difference and I learn differently. And the same with some people, they prefer to be, most people, the general term for how they prefer to be looked at or seen is black. But in some cultures or some backgrounds, so for example, if you think of places like South Africa, because of the country and the systems that run in that country, there's some people that are comfortable with the term coloured, because they had segregation in South Africa, so they preferred some people as coloured, as black, as white. So it just depends on what you feel comfortable with and what culture and background you came from that makes you comfortable with the label that is presented. But I think labels are subjected to the person and how they perceive themselves or see themselves. And I also think we shouldn't be our labels because over time we become older, we evolve, language changes, new words come up, and language means different in from different generations. So labeling someone as something at one point might not mean the same thing at another point, and some labels were deemed as offensive, and then they become non-offensive because people are happy to accept those definitions of who they are. So I think it's important that we're aware of terminologies that feel suited to different generations. There's some things in my generation or for my generation that are actually fine to say, but for other generations, they're not. And as we get older and the world changes, things generally do evolve. So that's how I view labels generally. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So, is there anything that you would like to talk about that is really heavy on your heart, and that you would like the audience to audience is not aware about
What's heavy
some
on my
things?
heart? What's heavy on my heart is I feel because I feel that we need to be in a society that is accepting of difference and having multifaceted lifestyles and portfolio careers. And I I know some people are living that life, but not everybody. I feel a lot of the time, what kind of irks me and irritates me is that putting people in boxes kind of constrains people to being the true versions of themselves. Sometimes when you grow up, people put you in the box because they think this is how you should be defined and this is what you should be. And what I want is a world where we can embrace difference in whatever format that might be. So I can give an example. So, for example, you might work for an employer, but you might also have a side hustle, and you might want to do both those things in the period of your life that makes you feel fulfilled because you want to live a multifaceted life. Or you might start a business, focus on that business for 6 months, and decide you don't want to do it anymore and go to another business and focus on that for 1 year and do something else. I think I need to feel an environment where we don't place ourselves in boxes and people to be free to live the truth and what they feel or feels authentic, not even their truth, but what feels truly authentic to them and the type of life they want from themselves. And for people to not feel restricted by the desires that they want to fulfill in life so that they can live ultimately their best life. Yeah.
Mm, thank you so much. And so now I would like, I am curious to know what came from the passion of programming, coding, and project management.
So I'm not exactly a coder, but I work in the tech
Mm.
space. So I know a lot
Hmm.
of software engineers and developers. Um, so I know that space is very much saturated. I'm more of the program project management side and making sure the developers deliver on what they say they're going to deliver and bringing that all together. So I'm the glue that keeps everything together. Um, um, however, I think in terms of learning languages, and are you talking about programming languages? I think it's important that if you want to learn a language, you can at any time of your life. I did a little bit of, I wouldn't say I'm a coder, but I did a little bit of CSS, HTML, a little bit of JavaScript in terms of learning computer languages. Not an expert on it, but I take the time to learn a little bit as I can, just so I have understanding of the technical knowledge. Um, but we've got things like AI. There's AI that can kind of teach you how to, um, code, and there's loads of um, large language models that you can use to help you code and build apps and websites if you really want to. And it's getting a lot easier to kind of break into that sector within tech if you want to learn how to code and stuff. So that's what I can mention on that. I hope I kind of answered the question.
Yes, of course, of course, of course. And we have still 20, 25 minutes. I'm going to tell you that it's a blessing to know more about you. And can you repeat your podcast name or your website, because I don't see that on your
Oh, do you
LinkedIn
not?
profile, and I want
Okay,
to.
so my podcast is called Divine Enigma. I can put it in the chat. I don't know if it helps. I'm on all podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I'm also on YouTube as well, so you can find me there. So it's divineenigma.org. I don't know how to
Mhm.
I don't know how I can share that with you,
Okay.
but it's
Okay, so that
yeah.
I can show
Um,
on the caption also.
yeah, so it's all over there, and I talk really heavily around neurodiversity in the workplace. I do a little bit of my project management and how to manage projects effectively as a neurodivergent project manager, and all of that good stuff. And also, I'm trying to do a bit of a series around neurodiversity in the workplace. Thank you for sharing that. That's my website. So yeah, you can find my podcast. I'm on every, I think most podcasting platforms. You can find me.
Yeah, and also, um, when did you started you when you did you start your
So
podcast?
my podcast has been around since 2022. I've not been as active on
Mm.
it, but I was quite active very early on in it. So I'm trying to get more episodes out. And if I don't know who's on this call, but it would be great if we can get some sponsorship on the podcast so that we can get more episodes out and get more people listening and get more people known about neurodiversity in the workplace because it's such an important topic and a lot of people are struggling with their neurodivergent conditions and they just need the support and help. So that podcast is is a go-to place for you to get that. Yeah, but I've had my podcast since 2022. Why I started my podcast? Okay, I started my podcast because I realized I got to a point in my life where I knew I was different. I knew that my brain didn't function like everyone else. I knew there were things that didn't quite make sense, but I didn't understand it. And by putting my podcast out, I thought maybe there are other people that think like me and are a bit strange and weird and don't have the same wiring my brain has. And then I thought, let me go and put myself out there. And initially, I started my podcast on my Apple for iPhone 8, I think it was, on the voice app. But I just started speaking. There were solo episodes initially, and then it started evolving into interviewing family, friends, and then guests that could come on in the neurodiversity space. And ever since then it's been happening. I get around 1,000 downloads a week. So people are constantly listening to hear you know anything on project management, anything to do around neurodiversity. So to keep that momentum, I would, yeah, would definitely like sponsorship on the podcast. But yeah, it's even put me into setting up an event. I was going to have an event this Saturday, but we've moved the event to the first week of June, and it's going to be in a place called the Africa Centre, which is between Borough Tube Station and what's the other one? Borough, yeah, there it is. That's it. Borough Tube Station, and I'm just trying to remember the other station it is. Southwark, yeah, Southwark Station. You should sign up. The tickets say sold out. We're basically trying to release more tickets for tomorrow so you can purchase the tickets. But we're having
Okay, good news,
yeah, yeah.
guys.
But we're having the event on. It's been so popular. So many people have been applying for these tickets. So when they do come out, they will sell out really fast. But basically, it's an event. We're going to have amazing speakers that will be there. The event will be filmed. There'll be drinks. There'll be all kinds of activities that we're doing, games, and it's also being launched with another organisation called ABC, which is run by Olaifa, and it's around autistic black coders. And the whole initiative of autistic black coders is to remove the barriers to allow autistic people get in a tech space and then get in training and then get in high paid jobs afterwards. There's a big issue around people who are autistic and not getting the recognition or actually getting access to employment. A lot of them are unemployed. So this platform, Autistic Black Coders, is giving autistics and black professionals the opportunity to get in a tech space and also removing those barriers. Although it's focusing on autistic people, we also help people from other neurodivergent backgrounds. So if you've got ADHD or dyslexia or dyspraxia, you can still join Autistic Black Coders. And yeah, we'll have amazing panelists on there that have been in the tech space for a good number of years. So yeah, just keep hold of that event. And we will be releasing more tickets. We just had a little glitch with Eventbrite because the tickets went crazy in the last minute and so many people purchased tickets. So yeah.
Yeah, and so we have a comment from John. Programming languages and program management is a great combination.
Yes, it is. It definitely is. If you can code and you can program manage, it's really good because when it comes to technical skills required when working with software engineers, you can kind of have an estimate as to how long it's going to take them to build a program or build an app or build an API. So yeah.
Mm. And by the way, because I'm not sure 100%, is there a difference between project management and program management?
Yes, there is a big difference. So, program management is more focused on the outcomes, and project management is more focused on the outputs. So, when you're a program manager, you're looking for the overall delivery of a program. Also, program managers tend to manage a number of projects within a program. So you can have a program and there might be six projects within that program. And within the program, there might be six individual or sometimes even 12 individual project managers managing the projects within that program, depending on how big the project is or how overall big the program is. And that's the difference between having a program manager and a project manager. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, in fact, it's sometimes it's not easy because sometimes like it's a Venn diagram and there are a blur line between two different concepts. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'm going after that to drop the link of the Eventbrite on YouTube and on LinkedIn, so that people can attend. Aside that, I would like also um, to give more space about you asking me question if you like, because we are not in a police station. It's like a conversation, a dialogue. So that's why I love also others to ask me any question related to their own space or their own interest.
Ollie, what inspired you to create this space? What gave you the inspiration?
Well, me presenting others.
Yeah.
Well, I'm good at igniting others. For me, it's difficult for igniting myself, for empowering myself, and but I am good at elevating others. I'm also good at baking pancakes because I love to play with words. I am a wordier, and at the origin, it was probably from trauma, but now it's like more okay. I am aware. I aware the world, and also in the brackets, I connect with God also and with Jesus. It's also my spiritual way of reclaiming the words, being and so it's about empowering others, giving them the voice, and especially people that might not have easily a voice. And that's why when you talked about this event, I was thinking, let's not me just repost or reshare the event on my feed, but also give you the voice. Like uh, a question that was came into my mind: why do you promote this event? And no, it makes sense because you are also having neurodivergent traits. And I like also when you say superpower, because everyone has superpower and everyone has also kryptonite. And your kryptonite might not be my kryptonite. Your superpower might not be my superpower. We have different. We are having different vibes, different ways, different. We are. I like to say we are in human vehicles, and so show all the human beings always remember that they can connect with their heart to serve humanity. And so it's also to realize that I imagine that I am a fish. And in order, the society tells me that for succeeding, I need to climb the tree. Like it's come from the Einstein uh, philosophy of you see a fish, a lion, a giraffe, an elephant, a bird, a monkey, and they have all a test to pass to climb the tree. So the bird and the monkey might succeed. The lion, maybe, but there is no way that the giraffe or the fish can climb the tree. Did you see any a giraffe climbing the tree? So it's all about realizing that we have all superpowers, but all also weaknesses. Um, Back in the days where we were together in this community, I in the 5 a.m. club of FGA was a book that was also presented, 3 feet from gold. And the sentence in this book is hire your weaknesses. Because at some point, there are things that I'm good at and things that I'm not good at. So the reason I create this space is because I'm good at uniting others. I'm good at elevating others and bringing them the voice. So thank you so much for asking this question. Any other question?
Someone put
So
that okay. Someone's put something about
yeah,
that's a
any ask a question. How can we support you, Sarah?
Oh, you can support me by ensuring I can get sponsorship. So if you know any corporations that can sponsor my event on the 7th of June, that will be really helpful. And also get as many people. So the more people that you can get to sign up to the event, tickets are, I think tickets should be now be released. We've had to release more tickets because it's such a popular event. The more people that we can get to the event, the more that will look better for corporate. So if we can get people to sign up to the event on the 7th of June, to bring as many neurodivergent people and even people that are allies to come, that will be even amazing at the Africa Centre between Waterloo and Borough. And any corporates that you might know that be willing to sponsor the event so that we can have an amazing time and get many autistics in the workspace and employment as well and getting high paid jobs so they don't feel that they don't feel like they don't have confidence, but they have confidence in terms of them achieving the goals they want at work in general. So yeah, that will be very helpful. Just let as many people know about my event.
Cool. And also, we are educating people. Like John says that he understood the difference between program management and project
Oh, I'm
management.
glad.
So it's really, yeah. So, and just to let you know that last year I was in London. I was in my trip to UK and to London. I came to London for 6 days, and in Faversham in the East UK for 3 days for my body improvement storytelling workshop. And I've been meeting amazing people, including someone of origin from Jamaica that is living in London, and she let me discover also the African culture. There is an African history museum. I don't know if it's in Brixton or Clapham, but I was visiting this, and it was a blessing because it was on Sunday. I was thinking, oh, it's maybe closed, but it was open. And so it's really interesting because it's about discovering different cultures and learning how we could coexist between different cultures, between different religions, different backgrounds, different languages. And also with the autistic and neurodiversity, understanding what are going through some people, because it's about layers, like women, persons of colors, autistic, mom, religion, and yeah, so it's about elevating humanity. So, any other topic that you would like to discuss before we wrap up?
Any other any other topic to discuss? I just think it's important for us to embrace our differences. And I remember there was actually, funny enough, there was a comment one of my friends said to me, and someone asked her, how do you manage um, doing so many different things and trying to perfect all of that? So, for example, you might be a parent, you might have a side hustle, you might be working for an employer or whatever that looks like to you. And one thing my friend said to me, she said, you've got to do it messy. Stop trying to be perfect. Don't do it in perfection. Some days, yeah, you're not going to be quite the best parent. Some days you're not going to be quite the best employee. Some days your business isn't going to work out the way you want, but just embrace all of it. It's okay. It does not have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be put together. And in that messiness that you have in your life, somehow you'll find a way to, I guess, home into that and ride the waves of messiness. Stop pretending to have it all together because nobody has it all together. Just embrace the messiness, live in the chaos, and try to thrive in chaos. No, actually thrive in chaos. Because if you see, if you're trying to make things perfect and fit in boxes, you're going to be suffocated. You're going to constantly feel anxiety because you're trying to fit a certain mode and it's not going to work for you. So embrace the messiness. And through that messiness, then you can find your authentic self and thrive in that because then you can figure out what you want. So I think that's probably my final thought in terms of managing multifacets of your life.
Well, thank you. And last but not least, I have an ultimate question for you. And it's really it's something that is important for me to ask you, because I've been hearing this question from Dr. Constance Leland, CJ, that was asking this question for each and every of her guests. And the question is, imagine that today is the last day on earth. What is your departing message to the people that are listening to you and the next generations?
This is my last day on earth, my last message. Wow, that's a deep question. Um, Everything that happens to you in life is supposed to happen, and make sure that you take lessons from it. Don't live your life with regret, and every opportunity that's presented to you, see it as something that you can grow from.
Thank you so much. It is a blessing. It is a blessing to have welcomed you to for this session, and keep shining. It's a blessing because I think it's during this session that I was really taking the opportunity aside the audience to know you a bit better. And of course, knowing is a big word. It's already incredible if we are able to know all of our inner parts, ourselves. So knowing others is already a challenge also, because we only see the different layers of someone. So thank you so much for your this opportunity to spotlight you. And at any time, You are always welcome. I'm also blessed uh, to let you discover also some other communities, like discovering you my network, and also in Go Brunch, there is a community that is called Go Brunch, like very immersive. It's a Zoom on steroid, even better than Zoom. And there are also black communities out there, and some black people, black women in US that has their own room, like Dr. Karen. And so I'm really happy. This is my mission, to bring the joy and to connect humans together so that we elevate humanity while we are still alive. So thank you, Sarah. And I'm going to end the session. So keep
Thanks,
shining.
Ollie. Thank you, everybody.